He was just a boy riding his bike home when he saw a luxury car stranded on the roadside. Most kids would have ignored it, but he stopped and offered to help. What he didn't know was that the man inside was a millionaire, and the decision he made that day would change his life forever. 12-year-old Jaden Carter wasn't like most kids his age. While others were glued to their phones or hanging out at the mall, Jaden spent his afternoons helping his mother at the diner, where she worked long shifts. His father had passed away when Jaden was young, leaving his mom to raise him and his little sister alone. Money was always tight, but Jaden never complained. He dreamed of being someone who could take care of his family, someone who could change their future. That's why on that hot summer day, instead of heading straight home, Jaden took a longer route on his bike. He liked riding past the nice houses and cars. It gave him hope that maybe one day he'd have that life too. As Jaden pedaled past an intersection, he noticed something strange. A sleek black Mercedes parked on the side of the road, hazard lights flashing. A man in a crisp suit stood by the car, staring helplessly at the rear tire, completely flat. Jaden slowed down. He could have kept riding, but something tugged at him. He remembered his mom's words, "Character isn't about what you do when people are watching. It's about what you do when no one is." So he turned his bike around, rolled up and said softly, "Sir, do you need help?" The man looked up, surprised. He was in his 50s, silver hair, expensive watch gleaming in the sun. Clearly not the type used to being stranded. "You know how to change a tire?" the man asked skeptically. Jaden nodded. His uncle had taught him. Without hesitation, he set down his bike, rolled up his sleeves and got to work. The man watched, stunned, as Jaden loosened the lug nuts, jacked up the car, and swapped the spare with surprising confidence. His hands got dirty, sweat beaded on his forehead, but he didn't stop until the job was done. When he finished, he dusted his hands off and smiled. "There you go, sir. Good as new." The man pulled out his wallet. "How much do I owe you?" Jaden shook his head. "Nothing, sir. Just glad to help." The man's eyebrows rose. Kids didn't do things for nothing. Adults rarely did either. But this boy, he was different. The man introduced himself, Mr. Harrison. What Jaden didn't know was that Harrison was one of the most successful real estate developers in the state, a multimillionaire. But today, stranded and ignored by dozens of drivers who passed him by, he felt invisible, until this boy stopped. "Jaden, is it?" Harrison asked. "Yes, sir. You remind me of myself at your age. Tell me, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Jaden hesitated. Most kids said doctor, athlete, or rapper. But he spoke his truth. "I want to be someone who can change my family's life." Harrison's chest tightened. He saw sincerity in Jaden's eyes. This wasn't a boy asking for a handout. This was a boy with heart. The next day, Jaden thought little of the encounter. But that evening, a sleek black Mercedes pulled up outside his mom's diner. Harrison stepped out, suit crisp as ever, and asked to speak to Jaden and his mother. At first, his mom worried. Had Jaden done something wrong? But Harrison smiled. "Ma'am, your son helped me yesterday when no one else would. I want to return the favor, and more." He placed an envelope on the table. Inside was a scholarship offer, full tuition to one of the best private schools in the state. Jaden's mother's eyes filled with tears, but Harrison wasn't done. "I run a mentorship program for young men like Jaden. With your permission, I'd like to guide him, give him opportunities he never thought possible." Weeks turned into months. Jaden excelled in his new school. Harrison kept his word, mentoring him, introducing him to people who opened doors. Jaden learned about business, finance, and leadership. More importantly, he learned that success wasn't about money, it was about character. At every turn, he remembered that it all began with one choice: to stop and help. A decade passed. Jaden stood at the podium of a graduation ceremony. Not just any graduation, but from one of the most prestigious universities in the country. In the crowd, his mother and sister cheered, tears streaming down their faces. Beside them sat Mr. Harrison, older now but smiling with pride. When Jaden gave his speech, he said, "I stand here today because of a flat tire, because one act of kindness turned into a lifetime of opportunity. You never know how one choice can change your life, or someone else's. So always choose kindness. The audience erupted in applause. This wasn't just a story about a boy and a millionaire. It was about the ripple effect of kindness. Jaden could have kept riding his bike. Harrison could have ignored the boy. But instead, their lives intertwined, and both were forever changed. Because sometimes the greatest opportunities come disguised as problems. And sometimes the smallest act of kindness can open the biggest doors. So the next time you see someone in need, remember Jaden's story. Because the choice you make in that moment could change a life, maybe even your own. Maybe even your own.